Hi everyone, welcome back to Music 119. Today we're going to get into Module 3D and talk about key signatures and the circle of fifth. Now, first let's start talking about keys. So, a key is the collection of notes that a piece of music is built from. It is based on a scale that starts on a home note called the tonic. And a key tells us which scale is used, which notes and chords sound right. So if you've ever heard musicians talking to each other about a key, so they would say, "Hey, what key is this song in?" And you could say, "Oh, this is in C major," which means that this song is going to exclusively use the notes from the C major scale, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then there are always going to be exceptions. Of course, you're going to add in, another note, but most of the time, you're going to hear mostly these 7 notes, right? So in the key of D major, the tonic is D, and the piece uses the D major scale, as you can see in this example. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and then D. So now we're going to talk about key signature. So a key signature is a group of sharps or flats written at the beginning of each staff. The key signature is a type of shorthand which saves a composer from having to write out all the accidentals. So imagine in this case, we're in E flat major, right? So what you can see right here, E flat major has E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, and then E flat. Which means every time you write a song in E flat major, you're going to have to make sure that E is always E flat, A is always A flat, B is always B flat. And if you forget one of those, instead of hearing E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, you'll get something like, which just sounds really odd. Okay, so a key signature is here to save your life because it's so much simpler. So what you do is you take those flats, so we have E flat, A flat, and B flat, and instead of having to write them all the time, you can just write them at the beginning of the staff. So here we have the first one is a B flat, second one is an E flat, third one is an A flat, B flat, E flat, A flat. And that tells the musician, hey, there are 3 flats in this key, and if you're a true musician, you would know that 3 flats means that this song is going to be an E flat major. So in the subsequent measures or pages of the sheet music, you would never have to rewrite that accidental again whenever you encounter those notes. So here you see how neat this is. We have E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. You don't have to add those individual accidentals before the notes because you have the key signature. So a key signature tells us which notes are automatically sharp or flat throughout the piece. Now let's look at the example of the key of D major. The D major scale always needs F sharp and C sharp. What does that mean? If you start from D and end on D, and then you work out your whole half, whole half, you will get D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. We have F sharp and C sharp all the time. So in D major, we have 2 sharps all the time, which means if you just write 2 sharps at the beginning of the staff, then people would know that, hey, this is in the key of D major, and it will save you all the trouble to have to write the individual sharps on F and C every single time. Okay, so next, we call D major a sharp key because it uses sharps and not flats. So if we're in the key of A flat major, or previously E flat major, we'll usually call it, oh, that's a flat key. Okay, just a way that musicians like to use to refer to keys. So D major has exactly 2 sharps, and no other major key has the same number of sharps as D major. And that's true for every single key. You would never see 2 keys sharing the same number of sharps or flats. Now, a few more examples. D sharp major, this is D major scale, which is, and it has F sharp and C sharp. That's why you see on the right side there's F sharp and C sharp in the key signature. And the next one is an A major scale. And this one also has 3 sharps. So you have C sharp, F sharp, and G sharp, and that's what you see here. Okay? And then the next one is E flat, A flat, and B flat. This is E flat major scale. E flat major scale. And this one, you would also get 3 flats as a key signature. So now that we know what a key signature is there a way that we should always write the key signature? Or I should say, is there a standard way to write the key signature? And the answer is a resounding yes. So what you have to remember is this little phrase: fat cats go down and eat birds. Okay, fat cats go down and eat birds. So what this represents is actually F, C, G, D, A, E, B. And this is the order of sharps. So if you look at the key signature for the sharp keys, it would always start from F, C, G, D, and then it goes down A, E, and then B. Same thing for the bass clef. We start from the 4th line, F, C, G, D, A, E, and then B. Notice the pattern here. We start from the top line, F, go down, up, down, and it goes down again, and then up, down. So make sure that you remember that for the sharp. So F sharp, C, G, D, down again, E, B. Okay? And for the flat side of things, it's the reverse. So instead of fat cats go down and eat birds, F, C, G, D, A, E, B, this is the opposite. This is B, E, A, D, G, C, F. Okay? B, E, A, D, G, C, F. So if you follow what's written here, we're always going to start from B, E, A, D, G, C, F. Make sure that you really try to write very neatly, because if it's even slightly off, that means you're not writing correctly. Okay, so that's the order of flats. Now we're going to talk about circle of fifth. The circle of fifth is a very powerful tool in music. It's just like the periodic table in chemistry, where you see how, you see the listing of all of the elements, and it shows you, like how these elements bond with each other, and so on and so forth. So circle of fifth would tell you which key has how many sharps or how many flats. And it also tells you the relation between one key to the next. So very useful, and let's get started. So the circle of fifth, let me show you what it looks like first. This is the circle of fifths right here. On the outer side, we see the major keys. We have C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp. These are the major. And on the inside, we see the minor. So A minor, E minor, B minor, F sharp minor, C sharp minor. So, it can go clockwise and counterclockwise, but we'll come back to it. So circle of fifths is a visual tool that shows how key signatures are organized. Each step around the circle moves by a perfect fifth, and it helps us to see how many sharps or flats are in each key. It also reveals relationships between major and minor keys and helps us understand how music moves smoothly between keys. Okay, so first let's try to understand what a perfect fifth means. A perfect fifth sounds like this. It's the interval of twinkle, twinkle. Okay, so we always start from C, which is right here, C, and a perfect fifth up is going to be G. And from G, a perfect fifth up is going to be D, and then A, and then E, and then B. And from B up is F sharp. Okay, that's what you're going to see on the right side of the circle of fifth. You have C, and then G, D, A, E, B, F sharp. And towards the left side, we're going to do the same. So from C, a perfect fifth down is F. And And from F, a perfect fifth down is B flat. And from B flat, a perfect fifth down is E flat, and then A flat, and then D flat. And this is what you're going to see. You're going to see C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, and on the other side is going to be C. Oh, sorry, this is a, let's see. Yeah, I think that's okay. It's not a perfect circle, but I think you get the idea. So from C, we go to F, B flat, E flat, A flat, and then D flat, and so on. Okay, so that's going to be what we'll use for all of the assignments coming up. Okay, so now the circle of fifths again. So remember, the fat cats go down and eat birds. This is extremely helpful because this is the same thing. We start from C at the 12 o'clock position. Okay, it's 12 o'clock. That's going to be C without any flat or sharp. And from there, we just go on to the next C, G, D, A, E, B, which is, if you start counting from here, it's fat cats go down and eat birds. And on the reverse side, it's the opposite. So C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat. Okay, so this is the major, but inside there is the minor. So what you see here is A minor, which is actually a relative key. We'll explain about that in the next lecture. So from A, same thing. We start from A, go to the next one is E, B, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp. And we can come back to this because I want to kind of build it from scratch for you so that you understand how it actually works. So now let's look at the major side of things first. This one doesn't really have any colors. It's not as fancy, but I think it's a much clearer way to understand it. Okay, so once again, remember, fat cats go down and eat birds, right? We start always from C, and then we go to the G, D, A, E, B. And when you get to B, we've exhausted the order of sharps, and it has to restart. And that's when we start adding F sharp, C sharp, which is why you see F sharp, C sharp, okay? And now to the opposite side, to the counterclockwise side, let's do the same thing. Fat cats go down and eat birds. We're starting from C, right? This time we're going to this direction. C and then F, which is here, C, F, and then we have B because we have to rewind and start from the beginning again. And this time we have to start adding flat. Okay, so this is C, F, B flat, and then E flat, and then A flat, and then D flat, and then G flat, and then C flat. Okay, and one really cool thing is that once you have this down, you can know that in the clockwise direction, it's always going to be sharp. So we have C, and the next is a G, which has one sharp, right? In the G major scale, if you write it out, you will always see that it's F sharp. And then in the D major, it's going to be two sharps, A major, 3 sharps, 4 sharps, 5 sharps, 6 sharps, 7 sharps. So it's always going to be in order. And the order of sharps come in really handy because it tells you which notes are going to be sharpened, right? So fat cats go down and eat birds, F, C, G, D, A, E, B. In G major key, which has one sharp, is going to be F sharp. In D major, 2 sharps, that's going to be fat cats. In A major, fat cats go. E major, fat cats go down. B major, again, fat cats go down. And F sharp major, 6 sharps, fat cats go down and eat. So you can see how useful this thing can be if you remember how to fill in, the clock face, and then if you can remember the order of sharps, you can know exactly, give me a key, A major. A major is 3 sharps. 3 sharps, you remember your order of sharps, fat cats go. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. So those are the three notes that will always be sharpened when you're playing an A major scale. Okay, so it's the same thing on the opposite side, C, and then this time we have the F, which is one flat. So remember, order of flat is reverse. So instead of F, C, G, D, A, E, B, it's going to be the opposite, B, E, A, D, G, C, F, right? This direction, B, E, A, D, G, C, F. So F is going to always have this B flat. And this one, B flat key, is going to have B flat and B, E, so E flat. The next one is going to be B flat, E flat, A flat. And A flat is going to be B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the major keys. And for the minor circle of fifth, remember A minor is a relative key of C major because they contain the same kinds of notes. So C major has C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and A minor has A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, so that's why A minor also gets this 12 o'clock position where there's no flat or sharp. And from there, the next one is going to be E. Well, how do we know? Well, just remember to write out your order of sharps. F, C, G, D, A, E, B. Fat cats go down and eat birds. If we start from A, the next one is going to be E. The next one is going to be B. And then when we restart, when we come back, it's going to be F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp. Okay, so that's what you see on this side. I'm not going to scribble all over because that's really confusing. And then if you go the opposite side, fat cats go down and eat birds again. This time we're also starting from A, but we're gonna go this direction, right? So from A minor, next one is gonna be D minor, G minor, C minor, F minor, and when you're at the end of it, you come back, and what do you have? B flat, E flat, and do we get an A flat? Yes, A flat. So that's what you see on this side of things. So just remember, A minor is the key that gets to be in that 12 o'clock position. Okay, and then you can build the rest around it. All right, now let's learn to recreate the circle of fifth by yourself. We're going to first have the clock face, and the clock face means that we have 12 hours on the clock face, so that's what you're going to start with. And next, you know your order of sharps, and then you know that's always going to be C at 12 o'clock, right? From C. And then the next one is going to be G, D, A, E, B. And after B, we have to come back, re-loop, and that's when you have F sharp and C sharp. Remember, once you've exhausted the order of sharps in either direction, you have to restart. And that's when, if you're going in the sharp direction, you add a sharp. If you're going in the opposite direction, the order of flat, you add a flat. Okay, so now let's go from C, the opposite direction, C, F, and now we're at the end of it, so we have to restart. Then that's when you have B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, G flat, and C flat. Okay, so this is basically the skeleton of the circle of fifth in the major side. So the next thing that you should be instantly clear about is the number of sharps, right? So at 12 o'clock, that's no flat, no sharp. At 1, that's 1 sharp. And D is 2 sharps, A is 3 sharps, E is 4 sharps, and then B is 5 sharps, and so on. And on the opposite side, F has 1 flat, B flat has 2 flats, E flat has 3, A flat has 4, D flat has 5, and G flat has 6, and C flat has 7. Okay, so that's the major, and for the minor, we're going to write it inside. A minor is the one that gets no flat, no sharp. And the next one after A is going to be E and then B, right? E, B, and now we're at the end of it. Come back, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp. And then on the opposite side, starting from A again, this time we're going to this direction, to the left side. Let me just rewrite this. I think it's getting a little crowded. So from A, if we go this direction, A minor, D minor, G minor, C minor, F minor, and now we have to restart. This time we have to add the flat, right? So B flat minor, and then E flat minor, and then A flat minor. And the number of sharps or flats will be exactly the same. All right, so how do we know which notes are going to be sharp or flat? Well, that's very simple because, if you know the order of sharps, let's take E major. E major has 4 sharps. Which 4? Well, fat cats go down. These 4 notes are going to be sharp. So if you write out the entire scale, so E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, you can just go and put F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp. And if you go to the piano, you automatically get the perfect E major scale. Well, let's take another example. If we take A flat has 4 flats, right? So which 4? Well, that's the reverse. Instead of fat cats go down and eat birds, this is going to be B, E, A, D, G, C, F. So B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, sorry. Okay, so if you write out the entire A flat scale, A flat, and let's say you still don't know which one, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, back to A. Let me just draw that little line. And then you know that B, E, A, D, those are the notes that get the flat. So B, E, A flat, already flattened, D. And if you go to the piano, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat. Okay, so this is how useful the circle of fifth can be, and also the knowing the order of sharps. Okay. Now, I would love you to try these ones. So first, let's write, the scale without the key signature. So for example, if we have D flat major, well, we can do it the very old way where, you go to the piano keyboard and then, you count the whole, half, whole, half. You can do that, or you can just use the order of sharps. So here, you can use the circle of fifth. So D flat major is here. We know that it has 5 flat. So all you have to do is start from D and on the next D. So D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, right? So from here, we have 5 flats. So what are the 5 flats? Let's fat cats go down and eat birds. The opposite direction, right? 5 flats, it's going to be these notes that are flat. So we have, let's start from B flat. So this is B flat, E flat, and then A flat, D flat, and G flat. And if you write this on the, if you play this on the piano, you get, that's a perfect major scale. And instead of having to write all of those flats in front of each note, you can also turn it into a key signature. Well, key signature, you know which notes are going to be flat, right? So B, E, A, D, G. B, E, A, D, G. And then you can just write, the scale without any accidentals. And that's it. That's D flat major scale. And B flat minor here is actually going to be the same because D flat is a relative scale of B flat minor. So it's going to be the same, except that you're going to start from the B flat. So B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. I'm just being lazy here, not writing on a separate line. But the number of flats are going to be the same. The notes that are flat will be the same. So B flat, C doesn't get flat, D flat, E flat, and then F, G flat, A flat, and B flat. And how do we know this? Well, it's right here. So that's a B flat minor scale. without using the key signature. So when you have the key signature, we just start, on a B, and this time you don't have to write anything. Anything as in you don't have to write the accidentals. Okay, so that's D flat major or B flat minor. And I would love you to try the next few ones: A major, A minor, A flat major, F minor, because these are exactly the kind of thing that you will do in your assignments. So, all right, I will see you in the next lecture. Take care.